On International Women's Day, we wanted to take a closer look at the state of women and girls worldwide. NewsHour's digital anchor, Nicole Ellis, spoke earlier today with Michelle Millford Morse, the United Nations Foundation's Vice President for Girls and Women's Strategy, about the agency's new report on gender inequality across the globe. Here's part of that conversation.
What are some of the biggest takeaways from this report?
2.4 billion women don't have the same legal rights as men. And what this means is that globally and on average, girls and women only have 3/4 of the same rights that men do. We think that's outrageous. We think it's unacceptable. And we wanted people to know.
98 countries are not legally required to provide equal pay to women. So is workplace inequality truly a fixable problem?
Absolutely. Like, pay equality is a problem we can fix. Like, companies can pay men and women the same amount of money for the same work with no excuses. And in fact, some of the companies we most admired have fixed that problem, and they fixed it in countries all over the world. But the pay gap is one of those gaps that has remained really stubborn over the past couple of decades. But there's a lot that employers can do to create workplaces that work for women. They can make sure that they have women at all levels of leadership in all levels of the company. They can make sure they have paid sick and family leave. They can make sure men also take that paid family leave. They can stop using diminishment and stereotypes in their advertising. They can pay women equally, and then they can also make sure they have safe workplaces. Also, 50 countries don't have any laws against sexual harassment at work. That is yet another problem that we can fix. That's unacceptable, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Is there a disparity in the extent of inequalities experienced by women of color?
Oh, it is vast. It is vast. I mean, the reality is that the data that I'm talking to you about are global aggregates. These are global aggregate data about the experiences of girls and women across a range of challenges related to inequality. But those gaps are much bigger. They are bigger for Black women. They are bigger for women of color. These gaps are wider and steeper for trans women, for migrant women, for rural women, and for young women. There are overlapping levels of discrimination. And so it's really important that when we talk about girls and women, it is okay. It is important, in fact, to cite global data about this experience, but we should also always acknowledge that not everyone is having the same experience. And for some people, these gaps are bigger and steeper. And we have to pay extra attention to that and address those in really specific ways.
And finally, is there anything that can be done to stymie some of these inequalities?
Oh, there's so much that can be done. I mean, this is not a time for despair. This is a time to act. And luckily, there's a lot of things that people can do. The first thing I would point out is that inequality is a solvable problem. We don't need a leap in science or technology. We don't need any magic here. We need more political will. We need more solidarity, and we need better policy. That's the first thing. The second thing is that gender equality is better for girls, women, boys, and men in all their diversity. It's better for all of us. And it's not about men versus women. It's about fair-minded people versus, fear-minded people, actually. And the third thing is that we have found that your voice matters. One of the best things that we know about this challenge is that all over the world, movements matter. Connecting with legislators and parliamentarians matter. I mean, those laws I was citing earlier, there have been 1,500 reforms over the past couple of decades and in regions all over the world. And it is a credit to people who are asking their government for something fair and something better. So I want anyone listening to know this is a solvable problem. This is within our grasp. Inequality is a choice. We can choose something different.
And you can watch Nicole's full conversation with Michelle Millford Morse online at pbs.org/newshour.